Yeah, we got very lot of them. I'm not leave him alone. Welcome, guys. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome into the live. Let me turn the music down. Welcome into the live, guys. Welcome, everyone. What is this? Mm, Thank you so much for coming. What is this? Okay, that's fine. Welcome, guys. Roll on in. Roll on in and let us talk. Let us do this. Let us do what we do here each morning, guys. It is Sunday. And this is what? The second Sunday, 2024. Oh, wow. Time is certainly moving on. Time is certainly moving on. And so are we. Yeah. We are moving on with our little quest here called the reading of the Bible. All right. Welcome into the live, guys. Welcome into the morning live. I appreciate you all. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you all so much for sticking with us. Those of you who have been with us since we started this journey. We started this journey almost 3 years ago. Can you believe it, guys? Almost 3 years ago, we started this journey of reading the Bible. We took a little break at one point, but then we got right on back into it, and we have declared that we will not stop again until we reach the revelation. Yeah, it has been an interesting journey. For those of you who are just discovering us, those of you who are just joining us, those of you who have never heard of us, by the time you hear this, we will be way on our way. Shelly and Sharon remain cool, and Jamisita and Unbothered. Ha! I love that name. Unbothered. That's how we are about the people, the skeptics and the condemners who are always having something to say about my take on the Bible. Yeah, we remain unbothered. Welcome. Welcome into the life unbothered. There is Israel. Yes. So guys, if you're wondering if you're new here and you are wondering what in the world does Trev do over here in the mornings, Israel said peace, love, light, and protection. Thank you so much, my love. That's what we live for, and that's what we desire for ourselves and those around us. Thank you so much. Novelet and Marcy are here as well. Welcome, guys. So for those of you who are just discovering me, because it's only been like a month since I've been doing the double streaming. I've been doing this on the tube for just almost 3 years. And I want to welcome you all into the morning live. Now, I have decided, Israel say, I see you on earth. Proudly so. Proudly so. We're saving lives every day. That's what we do. Okay, Israel says, is that a career you always wanted to pursue? Well, I did pedagogy before I did nursing, So yeah. Not necessarily what I always wanted to do. It was initially, I stayed on the fence with both of them. So it's been a great run, this life here. How is your health and family health doing? Everyone good? Is everybody? We are all doing great, my love. Thank you so much. We are all doing very well. I don't have anybody who is seriously ill. I don't have anybody who is seriously ill. My mom had been diagnosed with the big C, but it's like it's many years now. It's over 10 years. She remains vertical. So as she would tell you, whenever I die, that's not what gonna kill me. Okay. But other than that, we are all good. Thank you so much. We are all great. Yes, guys. So let me get back to this journey that I'm on. So I decided to take on this journey. Curtis, Jiggy Body. Jiggy body, how you doing? Yeah, so we have decided, not only I decided that I was going to take on this journey of reading the Bible from beginning to end. And so when I decided that, I'd started reading it privately. And then I thought, you know what? Let me share this with my friends online. Let me share this journey with them, just like I would share any other journey. Let me share this journey with them because after all, we all claim to depend on the Bible for we tend to use the Bible as our moral compass. And so I thought, you know what, it would be beneficial for the other people to listen in as I read, and also to follow along with in their Bible, and let us read it together. We are no theologians. We don't know much except what we were taught. The few little verses that was being read to us as we grew up in the church. But let us take it on for ourselves and read it for ourselves and try to understand it. Try to understand it for ourselves. Boy, we took on that challenge. I took on that challenge almost 3 years ago. And it has been a journey. We have found discrepancies. We have found concerning text in the Bible. And also, as I read the Bible and other supporting documents, I've come to the conclusion, I should say, that contrary to what I was taught as a child growing up, that the Bible was written by men inspired by God, I have come to the conclusion that that couldn't be further from the truth. My idea of God, or the way I was indoctrinated or socialized into believing what a God is or what a God should be, when I read the Bible, it provides me with a totally different presentation of God. So it is now my responsibility to determine what am I going to take in and what am I going to leave out. And all of that is my responsibility. And so it is for everybody else. It is your responsibility what you are going to take in and what you are going to leave out, especially when the information is as inconsistent as it is in the Bible. Now, I know a lot of people don't agree with me because they are so ingrained in their indoctrination and their socialization, and they are so petrified about the possibility of what could happen to them if they ever denounce something because they can't verify it, whether it is true or not, or because it is questionable, or because it contradicts logic. People don't want to question and say, oh, if it's in the Bible, I shouldn't question it because I'm going to go to hell, or I'm going to blaspheme, and God is going to take away my blessing, and all of this. I've heard it all. I have heard it all. People are so terrified that if they ask a question pertaining to their book that claims to teach them everything that they need to do morally, they are afraid just asking one question could cause them death and destruction. And I am not surprised that so many people feel that way. because that is, of course, the essence of the Bible. Melvin Johnson, how are you doing? That is the essence of the Bible. When you read it for yourself, you realize, Marilyn, that there is so much death and destruction that is called for, according to the authors, that is called for by their God, by the God, that we are supposed to revere, that you want to ask yourself, why? Why is it that they paint the picture of God so grimly? You know, everybody says, God, tell them, slay this one, slay that one, slay. I have read about more slayings and seen more bloodshed than I have seen in or read about in any novel that I have read. And you all know me and the reading. But I have never read another novel, another book that has as much slaughterings of humans as I have read in the Bible. And so I have come to the question of, why? And why all these prophets who have written their version of their encounter with their God, why aren't the information that was given to these prophets, why weren't they consistent? And because of the inconsistency that is presented in the Bible from the different authors, it tells me that somebody's not telling the truth. Yeah, they're not telling the truth. If you are supposed to believe every single author, what this author wrote in the Bible, you are going to be left as confused as it is noticeable right now that the people who read the Bible and claim to know the Bible are as confused can be. Why do I say that, Berberon? Why do I say that? Look at it. There is the one Bible. Churches for Saturday reading the Bible. Churches for Sunday, everybody reading the Bible. But yet, they can't come to an agreement as to which religion or denomination is following the Bible. Why do you think this is so? That is, I believe, because of all the inconsistencies in the Bible. You can't even blame them. Jalen, what's up? You can't blame them. When you see you have Saturday Church of God, Saturday Adventist, Saturday Pentecost, Saturday United, you have all these others, you have Sunday Day, you have Baptist, Methodist. You can't even name them. There are literally thousands of them. And everybody is using the same book. Everybody is using the same book. Yet, everybody has their own version. And thereby, because everybody have their own version, everybody have their own denomination. Now, let me ask you something. We are being quite logic here, because I tell you all the time, I'm a realist. I don't give me no fantasy. Don't give me no fantasy, love. Me don't want no fantasy. Give it to me as real can be. That is how I function with reality. Now, let me ask you something. If you get a textbook, all right, Jalen, me and you are in a class, right? We are using the very same textbook. But when the teacher gives the questions for the test, I put my answer and you put your answer. Both answers are supposed to be coming out of the textbook. The teacher looks at it and she says, "But Trev, why the answers you give me not in the textbook? We are going by the textbook. Where in the textbook you find these answers?" That would mean that I am presenting answers that I am drawing out of the air or from some other source. You ever go to school and you feel like you're bright? I go to school sometimes, with people who may have read something outside of the text for the class, and they come and they want to write a whole thing about what they had read someplace else, and the teacher say, I'm not going to accept this because that's not what is in this text. This text is what you're supposed to use to present your answer. Don't give me no text because your brother is studying in college and your brother is using a different text that is more advanced, and you go read that text and come now in this class here presenting that information. We're not working with that. If we are using the same text, I say all of that to say, if we are using the same text, shouldn't we come up with the same response based on the text? How come, therefore, there are so many people, so many different denominations, and everybody is trying to denounce the other person as being wrong, but they are using the same text? Make that make sense? They are using the very same text that everybody is reading and being encouraged to read, but yet they cannot agree amongst themselves. But yet when you or I brings up a question about it, about the text in the Bible, they are ready to condemn us and say, you know, if you question the Bible because you question God and you are blaspheme, are you gonna go to hell? You see, some of us really maintain the slavery mentality that we don't deserve grace and peace and forgiveness. We deserve whippings and lashings and death for everything, no matter how simple it is. Some of us maintain that mentality. And so instead of reading the Bible for ourselves and realizing that a lot of the text is quite questionable, and asking these questions of the people who are claiming to be leading us, we decide, all right, but I'm going to go on like a little sheep, I'll just go on and be led like a sheep. Come, I ask no question. Next thing me go blaspheme. Next thing me go hell. I'm still going. If there's ever such a place. If there's such a place, I'm still going. So I don't even jailing. But I mean, you understand what I'm saying, Don't get me wrong, people. I'm not knocking nobody and their religion, because religion, despite the fact that religion has caused a lot of wars and bloodshed amongst humanity, also, if religion in of itself, if the part of religion that says don't kill, don't steal, don't commit adultery, if some of these I'm going to say commandments are meant to be kept and are kept, there would be, or there could be, a much more peaceful and civilized society. I do not think that we were made to be constantly at war, fighting, taking each other's lives, and everybody is just sad. There's a lot of sadness and pain and tears. I do not think that that is the life that should be considered acceptable amongst us. Exactly, Jailing. Jailing says the inconsistencies is what causes the doubts. Exactly. Because I say all the time, if when I read the Bible and I read from the writings from all these authors, because you all will agree, the authors of the Bible are all Jewish people. The Bible is written from a Jewish perspective. When I say that, people like to say, oh, I try to tell you the truth. If you don't believe me, go read it yourself. Yes. The Bible was not written all at once. The Bible was written over hundreds of years by different people. Now, different people wrote their account of their experience in Israel. Okay? Back then, the people were always encouraged to write their experiences, write everything. Y'all remember when Jeremiah was telling Baruch what God was telling him? Baruch was encouraged to write. Yeah, write it down. Write down. God is talking to me, and I'm gonna say that's what Jeremiah told Baruch. God is talking to me, and I am telling you what God is telling me. So you do the writing while I do the talking. So Baruch wrote everything that Jeremiah was telling him. And you know one thing I wonder, guys, if you have been reading the Bible with me, how come, not to go off topic here now, but how come Jeremiah spoke so extensively about what God told him that he told Baruch to write on the scroll that he sent Baruch to go read to the people in the temple, but he never wrote. We never read in the Bible exactly what Jeremiah had told Baruch. I wonder why the contents of that scroll was left out of the Bible. What was written on it that Jeremiah said God was telling him? Why they didn't print that in the Bible? I don't know. But all it said was that Jeremiah said God was talking to him, and so he called Baruch to write what God was telling him. Baruch wrote it. He sent Baruch to go tell the people in the church, because he was banned from coming in the church with all his preachings of death and destruction to the Jewish people. So when Baruch went and read what Jeremiah told him to the people got all upset. They took it to King Jehoiakim. King Jehoiakim read it and ordered them to bring Baruch in front of him and bring Jeremiah. They fling Jeremiah down in the dungeon. Okay? Y'all either know the rest of that story, or y'all gonna be reading about the rest of that story. Okay? So the people back then, just like even now, you are encouraged to write your experience. And if your experience is of such that it is different. KZN, my love. Oh. KZN, I cannot with you. KZN. No. Me no pastor. Me no pastor. Me just read the book. Yes. Considering that the book have influence on just about every single aspect of our life. Yeah, it behooves us all to know what is in it, to read it, and to think critically about the content. Jalen said the Bible won't convince critical thinkers. Exactly, it will convince the sheep, the followers. Yeah, the people who just, you know, easily scared. Yeah. Them not ask no question and them afraid to ask questions because if they ask question, them afraid to them ask question, them a go hell. I don't know this proverbial hell. People are deathly afraid, claiming that they're afraid of this proverbial hell. I mean, I understand why so many people claim to be afraid of this proverbial hell, but them wicked so. So to tell you the truth, they themselves are not even convinced. Because if they were, considering how many churches we have and how many denominations, we should have a model society. There should be, we should not look at Jamaica. Jamaica have the most churches per square mile than any other country in the world. And yet still, Jamaica is leading with murders. So if the people them were so convinced that they need to follow the Bible, that there is a heaven where they are going to go, do you think that would happen? No. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And even exactly. Exactly. But they have to die first before they can go. And that's another thing that puzzles me. It's like people who have this poverty mentality. Them no want nothing on this earth. Me no want nothing on this earth. Put us, what's up? Put us, me go at the place, me carry the penny, go at the skating something. Go at the skating something last night. I never come back till nearly midnight. When I come back, I just say, just go on my bed, yeah, man. I couldn't bother come back on the life. Because if I come back on the life, then I wouldn't even wake up yet. So I just say, I'm go on my bed, go sleep. Yeah, so I get a good little sleep from about 12:30 till about 4. That's good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. What are you doing? Yeah. So guys, so let me get back to this analysis here. But tell us that people don't really believe it, but people seems like they have this fear of consequences if they don't say they believe. So they will say, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, we believe, oh yes. Even when the information is just so inconsistent. People will say to you, I'm not care as long as it's in the Bible, I believe it. So you believe all of this death and destruction? You believe in all this death and destruction? So you have to read it and get context from what is in it. You can't just say because it's the Bible and it's a book that is supposed to lead you and you are supposed to follow what is in it, that you're not going to, you're not have to read it. You just want to know that somebody say it in there and you are follow. That no make no sense. That no serve you no good. And that could be hindering you from living your best life. Because you are in such fear that if you ask questions about the Bible, somebody are going to kill you, somebody are going to go to hell. Somebody are going to throw you in one place named hell. Look at the children of Israel. Look at the children of Israel. Take a look at the children of Israel. I'm talking about the biblical children of Israel. Take a look and ask yourself the question, how comes according to the Bible, the children of Israel, God said they were chosen. They were the chosen people. He chose them to be his people. Why the other people them in the world were not chosen? I know in the same one make them Why were they considered to be enemies of the children of Israel? What was it about the children of Israel that would have caused the other people in the world to suddenly get up and start hating this group of people? What was it? What could have been the issue? Remember, I know the children of Israel end up down at Egypt only because there was the famine. And remember Joseph, who the brothers had thrown in the well, had risen up down there in Egypt to be one of the right hands governors down there in Egypt. And Joseph sent for his family to come so them can have food, because there was no food in Canaan. So food was down there in Egypt. And so come they end up down in Egypt, you know. Joseph tell them, come everybody, wall on to come. Wall on to come, so I have food. No food down here, no come. And I'm me in charge, so we ensure so you don't eat, you don't have no food. And the whole tribe of them go down to Egypt. When they went down to Egypt, they left, remember, so them left their land and everything, them left Canaan, they left everything, you know, and go down there, go down to Egypt. Now, do you think when they went, if they had gone back to Canaan, if they had gone back to wherever it was that they had left, do you think that if they had gone back, they would have go get back the land? They would not have gotten back the land, you know. Where's the, me doing good, listen to you making noise. Me always I make noise in your head. Early in the morning, so early in the morning, eh? Maybe I make noise in your head. So the children of Israel ended up in Egypt in that instant, only because of the famine. But when Moses said, God told him to lead them out of Egypt because they were enslaved. He might go carry them, go give them a land for themselves where they can establish their own dynasty, establish their own society, establish their own life. This could have been from the desperation that Moses was feeling for so many of them being there in Egypt, and you know the Pharaoh's always coming up with all kinds of laws, and they were like second-class citizens down there in Egypt. So the Egyptians had picked first choice, but they had grown so much. Their numbers had increased exponentially while they were down there in Egypt. So they started to become a threat to Egypt. That's why they left. They started to become a threat to the Egyptians because there was just so many of them. It's like you having a little country. It's like you having your country and you take in so many immigrants. So many immigrants that all of a sudden, before you know it, generations pass by, and before you know it, they have taken over. This is Egypt, but when you go to the concierge, it's an Israeli. When you go to the airports, it's manned by Israelis. When you go to the bus terminals, it's manned by Israelis. When you go anywhere you go, when you go into the hospitals, the doctors are Israeli, and the nurses and the care techs and everybody else is Israeli. That's how much they have sort of displaced your people in your land. Don't you think people would object to that? Yeah, they would. And people would say, well, if this is Egypt, we need to see Egyptians. We need to see Egyptians when we go around. I mean, nothing is wrong with seeing a few Israelites, but we need to see Egyptians. And so, in my view, I think that was the case. Because remember, the Bible talks about how the Israelites had multiplied and multiplied, just like how God had promised Abraham that he was going to multiply them, make them a force to be reckoned with. So in Egypt, there was a multitude of them. Okay? Remember, Moses had given them Mount, oh my God, what's the name of that place again? For them to leave the place that was full of stones, the land that had all those stones. You know, Joseph had told them they could go over there, go establish themselves. Why you think Joseph had told them that? Because now it seemed like an encroachment on the Egyptian values, because there were so many of them. So Joseph tell them over there, so they're over the rocky place over there, so we hear nobody else no want. Uno go over there, so uno go and go live over there, so go and go occupy over there, so because clearly the Egyptian them a murmur because uno too much. Uno take over prime land, prime spaces, and because of that, regular Egyptians not able to. So uno go on over there, so. Then here comes Moses. And Moses said, God tell him, say, him going to lead them to the promised land. Ghana promised land. A journey that is probably like 11 miles. A journey we could have take them 1 day, 2 days the most to reach. Take them 40 years. Be realistic. It take them 40 years to reach. And when they reach, the leader who brought them, him not get for even cross River Jordan. Moses not even get for cross River Jordan. You notice that the children of Israel, from their God, after Moses, Aaron, Joshua, do you notice that no longer is their God preaching growth and wealth and power and authority for the Jewish people? Why is that so? Do none of y'all ever question why is that so? When Moses were leading them, Moses was initiating laws to say how they can live so that the society can be pure. The society can be without anybody coming up just wantonly taking the life of another person, or stealing people's crops, or doing anything that was going to cause distaste or unhappiness or contention within the camp. So I saw Moses more like a progressive. Same with Aaron. Same with Joshua. Because remember, they didn't play. If you did anything that was against the law, then no, we don't want you here anymore. You're going to be slain. You are going to be slain, just to make sure that we maintain a quote-unquote pure existence among us. And according to the Bible, while we were reading, we didn't see too many people. We didn't see too many people breaking the laws, because the people were deathly afraid. They know that if you break the law, there are consequences, and the consequences come swiftly. But fast forward to people like Jeremiah, Ezekiel. Do they preach about the wealth of the Jewish people? Do they preach about the growth of the Jewish people? The Jewish people continuing to be the light of the world? Do they speak about that? No. They preach death and destruction. And they claim all of this is what God tell them. So how God tell Moses and Aaron and the rest of those earlier prophets, Samuel and all of those earlier prophets, about his desire for the Jewish people to grow exponentially, for them to be wealthy, for them to have lots of land and be the rulers and have authority. And then all of a sudden the same God I go tell Jeremiah him not have nothing to do with these people. He want the whole of them dead. He want the whole of them destroyed. And he must send up the enemy specifically to destroy them by the sword, by famine, and by pestilence. No. Rasta said, no. Does that make any sense to Unu? Well, to me, it provides a lot of questions. I'm not afraid to ask the questions. And here I am searching the Bible, trying to find the answers. Answers that I am telling you, I am having a hard time finding. I don't know why I'm having a hard time finding them answers. It's because of the way they compiled the Bible. They grab a writing from AG, they grab a writing from Jaleng, they grab a writing from Joseph, they grab a writing from me, they grab a writing, and then they compiled it, put it together, and call it the Bible. And I have heard a lot of people say, oh, the Bible, a lot of the books of the Bible are left out. That is because the Romans, when they were putting the Bible together, them leave out some of the things because them don't want we to know, and them don't want. I do not think it's because they don't want us to know. That could be, but I don't think so. What I think it is that a lot of these books, a lot of these writings were repetitive. Ezra, Nehemiah, repetitive. You know, people who lived in the same time had just about similar experiences. And if these people were close together, say, I was the priest and you were the prophet during this time, we work closely together. So if I am going to write a book and you are going to write a book, we are going to have basically similar experiences and the same information. So they have to decide whose version they're going to put in the Bible. And they pick a version. If they were supposed to put every single person who had written their experiences back in those times, the Bible couldn't hold everything, people. The Bible couldn't hold everything. So that is why some books had to be left out. I don't think it's because of any particular conspiracy. It's just that everything couldn't go in there. So then pick some things and leave out some things. And gather up this compilation that they call the Bible. What me chatting off this morning, you know. Lord have mercy. But anyway, we are going to continue. AG, bless up yourself. We are going to continue reading. This morning we're reading Ezekiel chapter 39 and 40. So if you don't have a book Bible and a Google Bible, come along with us and let us read together. All right, you reading, do it, make your little notes. Make your little notes so that, you know, today is Sunday, ask Pastor. I bet you got ask Pastor today, Sunday or yesterday, Saturday. Pastor can't even tell you. Pastor can't tell you because if you are come now come question the things in the Bible, you are cutting a pastor pocket. So The pastor gonna tell us, say, get out of here, I rebuke you. Because them don't want to hear. They don't want to hear nobody ask questions. They want to just follow like sheep. Follow like sheep and ask no question. That's why so many motivational speakers coming up and talking and telling you those all kinds of things that take on the money and live big, big, bright and beautiful. I wanna still poor. Hey, I wanna still poor. Them bambandoozly and tell us say if you don't throw money in a church, you're not gonna go heaven and you're gonna stay poor. And you keep on throw money in a church and you're still not go heaven and you're still poor. And we know the news. Yeah. And you're still poor. So I don't know what's the goings on. But anyway, we are going to read because that's what we do over here. Me not endorse no religion, me not endorse no denomination, and I don't tell nobody. I know I'm not upset with anybody about what they believe. Though I have found people to be mad at me because of what I believe. But anyway, me no mind. Me no mind. Get on a book Bible or Google Bible, whichever one you have gentle people. I don't make we read here. Because we are reading for ourselves. We're not being no sheep and nobody lead we astray. Kevin, what's up? Ezekiel 39 says, therefore, now this is Ezekiel writing now. Ezekiel says, therefore, thou son of man, prophesy against Gog, and say, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back, and leave but the sixth part of thee, and will cause thee to come up from the north parts, and will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel. Now, I know yesterday, hold on the people. Hold on, the verse 38 and chapter 38 and verse 14. Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto Gog, thus saith the Lord, in that day when my people of Israel dwelleth safely, shalt thou not know it? Okay. But over here, so in verse 3 of chapter 38, he said, God said to him, set thy face against Gog, and say, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. So if he is against him, how is he going to establish him on the mountains of Israel? Hey, what vlogger, what are you doing, my love? Good to see you. Bruisers, what's up? Me not get it. But anyway, we're gonna continue. Verse 3 says, and I will smite thy bow out of thy left hand, and will cause thine arrows to fall out of thy right hand. Thou shalt fall upon the mountains of Israel, you and all your bands, and the people that are with you. I will give you unto the ravenous birds of every sort, and to the beasts of the field to be devoured. You shall fall upon the open field, for I have spoken it, said the Lord God. So he's saying that Gog and remember yesterday he said that the Gog and his people coming out of the north on horses and wagons and all these things are going to roll up into Jerusalem, into Israel. The mountains of Israel are going to be inhabitation of them is going to be reestablished by the people, the warriors who he may come back to life in the valley. Y'all remember that yesterday? Ezekiel said him sleep a bone them, dry bone from dead people in the valley. And God tell him to put them back together, and he put them back together, and they became men, and they realized that they were Israeli warriors who had been slain by the enemy in some war. And God bring them back to life and establish them on the mountains of Israel. And then here comes now, he's saying that Gog is going to go up on the mountain to fight them. And Gog and his people and everybody with him are going to die up there, and the birds of the field and the beasts are going to eat them. Me don't know. Card, bless up yourself, Card. How you doing, sister? How you doing? Good to see you. Happy Sunday morning to you, my love. Let's read on. Verse 6. Verse 6 said, bless up yourself. 1 in a million, yeah. Blessings, 1 in a million. How are you doing? Happy Sunday to you. Ezekiel 39 verse 6 says, and I will send a fire on Magog, and among them that dwell carelessly in the isles, and they shall know that I am the Lord. So will I make my holy name known in the midst of my people Israel, and I will not let them pollute my holy name anymore. And the heathen shall know that I am the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. So here now, at this point, according to Ezekiel, the Lord wants the heathen to know who he is. He wants the heathen, and the heathen, when it refers to the heathen, it means the people who are not descendants of Jacob, who are not Israelites. He wants them to know that he is the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. Okay. All right. Verse 8. So this is how he's going to make them know. It's by causing fire and destruction upon them. This is how he's going to make himself known that he is God. All right. Behold, it is come, and it is done, said the Lord God. This is the day that I have spoken of. And they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth, and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, the bows and the arrows, and the hand staves and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire for 7 years. Why should they though? Why should they burn their weapons? So when the enemy come upon them, what am I going to use? If I'm going to burn their weapon? The 7 years? Well, let me continue reading this. So that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out of the forest, for they shall burn the weapons with fire. And they shall spoil those that spoil them, and rob those that rob them, said the Lord God. What? Verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto Gog a place there of graves in Israel, the valley of the passengers on the east of the sea, and it shall stop the noses and he shall stop the noses of the passengers, and there shall they bury Gog and all his multitude. And they shall call it the valley of Amagog. And 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying them, that they may cleanse the land. Really? So the people of Gog, let me get this right. So Gog and all his army and everybody, Ezekiel prophesies that God say, God tell him to turn him out towards Gog and prophesy that they must come on horses and whatever and come fight. The dead man, them what they come up back from the dead out of the valley. Remember them dead people there that was in the valley, and God bring them back to life. So those dead people were established on the mountain, and the Bible says, "On me." Let me get this right. So these dead people who were from the Israeli army, them dead long time apparently, them dry bones. So you understand, them rotten out long time. But Ezekiel saw them in the valley, and God said to him, "I'm going to put back flesh on them people and make them come back alive." And when the people them come back alive, they realize that they were a Jewish army. And God said, "Okay, want the people to be established up on the mountain there. Them go establish a community up on that mountain. Now go and go prophesy to Gog, and tell them to come with them sword and their horseback and whatever, and come fight with these resurrected people up on the mountain." I know I'm going to say when the people them go up on the mountain to go fight the resurrected people, all of the people them will go up there with God, gonna die up there on the mountain. That means the resurrected people them are going to be able to slay all of them. And dog and junk are going to eat them up there. And it's going to take the people up there all 7 months to bury all of them. And so that's going to be enough. That's going to take them 7 months to bury them. And where them story come from? Them stories sound real too, no? Unrealistic. Them sitting sound like sitting people somebody lay down and God them late at night. Eat late at night and go sleep. And dream up them something. Yeah. Let me continue reading. Verse 12 said, 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying them, that they may cleanse the land. Yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown the day that I shall be glorified, said the Lord. So them are going to call that day when them slay all of those people, Gog and all those people. That's going to be a day for celebration. And so come them are going to know that their God is God. Really. Make we continue. Because clearly, as far as I am seeing, the only way for this God make people know that him is God is by shedding one whole heap of blood. As some people fi know say him a God by shedding a whole heap of blood. But make we continue. And they shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers, those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it. After the end of 7 months shall they search. And the passengers that pass through the land, when any sees a man's bone, they shall be set up. Then shall he set up a sign by it, till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Amagog. So, is the valley of Amagog the same valley where Ezekiel did see all the other dry bone them? So what kind of reverse order this? Hold on there. Is that like one reverse order right there? So Ezekiel saw the heap of dry bone them in the valley. The only valley them I talk about right now is Amagog. So it looks like almost the same valley. Almost the same valley Amagog, where Ezekiel saw all of the dry bones. So Ezekiel saw the dry bones in Amagog. God tell him, say, I'm going to put back flesh on these dry bones. God put back flesh on the dry bone them. When the dry bone them become human again, they realized that they were Jewish, the Jewish army. So God set them up back on the mountain. Them become human again, you know. Set them up on the mountain. Then him tell Ezekiel to preach against, turn him in face towards Gog in the north and preach against them. Tell them to come down upon them horses and everything and come fight with the people them up on the mountain. And then them are going to slay the people them, the newly resurrected people them are going to slay all these people who come from Gog to come fight. What was the purpose of them coming to fight? To prove that he's God, so they can slay them, so that the resurrected people can slay these new people, these people that are coming from God. What in reverse order there? So I don't get it. Because what's the point? So that the people of God can come take the place of the people who were dead in the valley? So that everybody can know that he is God? People, welcome into the live. AG, welcome into the live. We'll continue reading here. Verse 16. And also the name of the city shall be Ammonah. All right, the valley is Amagog. The valley is Amagog. And the name of the city is Ammonah. And thou son of man, thus said the Lord God, speak unto every feathered fowl, and to every beast of the field, assemble yourselves, and come, gather yourselves on every side to my sacrifice, that I do sacrifice for you, even a great sacrifice upon the mountains of Israel, that ye may eat flesh, and drink blood. Well, let me read yesterday again. Verse 17. And thou son of man, now mark here, this is Ezekiel saying, can I talk to him? You know? So God said to him, and thou son of man, speak unto every feathered fowl, and to every beast of the field, assemble yourselves, and come, gather yourselves on every side to my sacrifice, that I do sacrifice for you, even a great sacrifice upon the mountains of Israel, that ye may eat flesh and drink blood. What? Ye shall eat the flesh of the mighty, and the fowl them, the bird them, I call it, I'm talking of. Ye shall eat the flesh of the mighty, and drink the blood of the princes of the earth, of rams, of lambs, and of goats, and of bullocks, all of them fatlings of Bashan. And he shall eat fat till he be full, and drink blood till he be drunken of my sacrifice which I have sacrificed for you. Verse 20. Thus he shall be filled at my table with horses and chariots, with mighty men and with all men of war, saith the Lord. And I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. So now, we don't get it. In no more Israeli to slaughter. So now in turn for the rest of the people them. To slaughter the rest of the people. Why it have to be slaughtering to prove? To prove him point and prove himself. This make me thirsty. Trust me. It make me thirsty. Because people, I'm telling you. I don't hold on a little bit. I take a sip of water. Okay, gentle people, here I am. I am back. Okay. I am back. Let us continue. We are reading Ezekiel chapter 39 and verse 22. So the house of Israel shall know that I am the Lord their God from that day and forever and forward. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. Therefore, I hid my face from them and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword. I want to hear it. Okay. According to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my holy name. After that, they have borne their shame, and all their trespasses whereby they have trespassed against me, when they dwelt safely in their land, and none made them afraid. When I have brought them again from the people, and gathered them out of their enemies' lands, and am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations, then shall they know that I am the Lord their God, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. But I have gathered them unto their own land, and have left none of them any more there. Neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel, said the Lord. God. Aye, sir. Aye, sir. I thought the children of Israel were always taught that this was their Lord, this was their God, the God of their fathers. So now their God is going to make a point to them to prove to them that He is their God. And in that proving, He is exalting Himself to say, yeah, according to Ezekiel. According to Ezekiel, now remember, I'm speaking according to Ezekiel. Now God I go tell Ezekiel that He might go bring back all the Jewish people who He admittedly has caused to be taken into captivity. Because remember Ezekiel said, God told him that He was going to use Nebuchadnezzar. So, all right, here now that is, God is admitting that He used the enemy to destroy Israel so that Israel can know that He is God. So He might destroy Israel for Israel know that He is God. He might destroy the Eden so the Eden know that He is God. So why, my question is, why for people to know that He is God, they have to be destroyed? So it's all this power got to be wielded upon them. Me will destroy me. Me no ramp, Me no make you understand. And when somebody is like that with you, what are your thoughts? When somebody say, me, I go show me, and in showing you who they are, it's not with love, it's not with care, it's with death and destruction to prove to know who them be. Is that supposed to be fear-mongering? Talk to me. If me no make you scared and trembling in your boots, you're not gonna know say I may run things. Yeah? Yeah? You understand what I talk about? This is how I feel about the presentation of God according to these so-called prophets in the Bible. They present Him as this, they present Him in a negative light. They present Him as, I don't even want to say bully. I don't want to say that. I don't even want to use that the word. But the way they are presenting Him is as though they are making you so afraid. It's like they want you to be afraid. And if you have to love a God or serve a God out of fear that if you don't, He might go slay you, how do you feel doing that? You shouldn't have to do that out of fear. It should be out of love. And you see the benefits. You see the benefits of loving. That's why I don't understand why religion itself have to be pushing a heaven or hell. Why they have to be using a heaven for encouragement and a hell for punishment for us to be decent human beings. It shouldn't be with a promise of heaven or hell that we should be decent human beings to each other. And so that is that sounds like the same thing coming from the Bible. You're going to obey me or me are going to slay you. Pick your choice. Why is it that we have to be led with fear? I don't want to be led by fear. I want to do things because it is good. Because the results of what I do are beneficial to humanity. Me don't want to do it because me have some proverbial heaven on my mind. And because if I never chew them promise me say me I go to heaven, you know. I wouldn't even give that man no food. I can't go there if you're hungry. But if me do that, me not go to heaven. They put this thing in your mind about this fantasy heaven. About this earth. Right down here so is where we live in. Right down here so is where we're gonna live, is where we're gonna die. Then come up with this. You're gonna go up a heaven where them come up with this thing. Or you're gonna burn up in a hell. Well, it look like I go burn up in a hell. A lot of people like to hear that. But trust me, when you listen to the reading or you read the Bible for yourself, do you get that understanding that the Bible is telling you that there is peace and goodness in loving one another? Everything is death. You have to kill you for you understand, say, me a bad man around here. And me a the boss around here. Me don't like that. Me don't know. Me don't have the mentality there. So me don't like that. But anyway, don't forget, guys. Alistair, bless up yourself. But don't forget, guys, say, me I read the Bible because me I try to understand it. And what its implications, understanding or obeying it. What are the implications to me and my life? I mean, I share that journey that we don't know. So I wanna come continue reading with me. We're upon Ezekiel chapter 40. In the 25th year of our captivity, so now 25 years now since them they are Babylon. In the 25th year of our captivity, in the beginning of the year, in the 10th day of the month, in the 14th, in at the beginning of the year, in the 10th day of the month, in the 14th year after that, the city was smitten. In the self same day, the hand of the Lord was upon me and brought me thither. In the visions of God, brought he me into the land of Israel. In a vision. All right, in a vision. That means in my sleep. Okay. Brought me into Israel and set me upon a very high mountain, by which was as the frame of a city on the south. And he brought me there. And behold, there was a man whose appearance was like the appearance of brass, with a line of flax in his hand, and a measuring of reed. And he stood in the gate. And the man said unto me, Son of man, behold with your eyes, and hear with your ears, and set your heart upon all that I shall show you. For to the intent that I might show them unto you art thou brought here. Declare all that you see to the house of Israel. All right. So he's saying, I'm vision. He was brought up on a mountain in Israel, and there was a man there that was made of brass. And the man tell him I go tell him some things, everything. He tell him he must go back and tell Israel. And behold, a wall on the outside of the house round about, and in the man's hand a measuring of reed of 6 cubits long, by the cubit and a hand breadth. So he measured the breadth of the building, 1 reed, and the height 1 reed. Then came he unto the gate which looked towards the east, and went up the stairs thereof, and measured the threshold of the gate, which was 1 reed broad, and the other threshold of the gate, which was 1 reed broad. And every little chamber was 1 reed long, and 1 reed broad. And between the little chambers were 5 cubits. And the threshold of the gate by the porch of the gate within was 1 reed. He measured also the porch of the gate within, 1 reed. Then measured he the porch of the gate, 8 cubits, and the post thereof 2 cubits, and the porch of the gate was inward. And the little chambers of the gate eastward were 3 on this side, and 3 on that side. They 3 were of 1 measure, and the post had 1 measure on this side and on that side. And he measured the breadth of the entry of the gate, 10 cubits, and the length of the gate, 13 cubits. The space also between the little chambers were 1 cubit on this side, and the space was 1 cubit on that side. And the little chambers were 6 cubits on this side, and 6 cubits on that side. He measured then the gate from the roof of 1 little chamber to the roof of another. The breadth was 5. The breadth was 5 and 20, that's 25 cubits, door against door. He made also posts of 60 cubits, even unto the part of the court round about the gate. And from the face of the gate of the entrance unto the face of the porch of the inner gate were 50 cubits. And there were narrow windows to the little chambers, and to their posts within the gate round about. And likewise to the arches. The windows were round about inward, and upon each post were palm trees. Then brought he me into the outward court, and lo, there were chambers, and a pavement made for the court round about. 30 chambers were upon the pavement, and the pavement by the side of the gates over against the length of the gates was the lower pavement. Then he measured the breadth from the forefront of the lower gate unto the forefront of the inner court without, 100 cubits eastward and northward. And the gate of the outward court that looked towards the north, he measured the length thereof, and the breadth thereof, and the little chambers thereof were 3 on this side, and 3 on that side. And the posts thereof, and the arches thereof were after the measure of the first gate. The length thereof was 50 cubits, and the breadth 5 and 20, that's 25 cubits. And their windows and their arches and their palm trees were after the measure of the gate that looks towards the east. And they went up upon it by 7 steps, and the arches thereof were before them. And the gate of the inner court was over against the gate towards the north and towards the east. And he measured from gate to gate 100 cubits. After that, He brought me towards the south, and behold, a gate towards the south, and he measured the post thereof, and the arches thereof, according to these measures. Let me continue reading. Verse 24. After that he brought me towards the south, and behold, a gate towards the south, and he measured the post thereof, and the arches thereof, according to these measures. And there were windows in it, and in the arches thereof round about it, like those windows. The length was 50 cubits, and the breadth 25 cubits. What is my build? One next ark? But anyway, and there were 7 steps to go up to it, and the arches thereof were before them, and it had palm trees, one on this side, and another on that side, upon the post thereof. And there was a gate in the inner court towards the south, and he measured from gate to gate towards the south 100 cubits. And he brought me to the inner court by the south gate, and he measured the south gate according to these measures, and the little chambers thereof, and the posts thereof, and the arches thereof, according to these measures. And there were windows in it, and in the arches thereof round about. It was 50 cubits long, and 25 cubits broad. And the arches round about were 25 cubits long, and 5 cubits broad. And the arches thereof were towards the outer court, and palm trees were upon the post thereof, and the going up to it had 8 steps. And he brought me into the inner court towards the east, and he measured the gate according to these measures, and the little chambers thereof, and the posts thereof, and the arches thereof were according to these measures. And there were windows thereof. There were windows therein, and in the arches thereof round about. It was 50 cubits long and 25 cubits broad. I don't know what is Ezekiel claim God has shown him, with all this measurement. Because the whole of chapter 40 is just about this measurement of this thing where him claims that God has shown him in a dream, in a vision. But make us continue. And the verse 34. And the arches thereof were towards the outer court, and palm trees were upon the post thereof, on this side and on that side, and the going up to it had 8 steps. And he brought me to the north gate, and measured it according to these measures, the little chambers thereof, the posts thereof, and the arches thereof, and the windows to it round about. The length was 50 cubits, and the breadth was 25 cubits. And the posts thereof were towards the outer court, and palm trees were upon the posts thereof, on this side and on that side, and the going up to it had 8 steps. And the chambers of the entries thereof were by the post of the gates, where they washed the burnt offerings. And in the it's all like our tabernacle in my bill in I sleep, right? Happy Sunday. Oh, you got church this morning, win some. Okay, wonderful. Verse 38. And the chambers and the entries thereof were by the post of the gates, where they washed the burnt offerings. And in the porch of the gate were 2 tables on this side and 2 tables on that side, to slay thereon the burnt offering, and the sin offering, and the trespass offering. And at the side without, as one going up to the entry of the north gate, were 2 tables. And on the other side, which was at the porch of the gate, were 2 tables. 4 tables were on this side, and 4 tables on that side by the side of the gate. 8 tables whereupon they slew their sacrifices. And the 4 tables were of hewn stone for the burnt offering, of a cubit and a half long, and a cubit and a half broad, and 1 cubit high. Whereupon also they laid the instruments wherewith they slew the burnt offering and the sacrifice. And within were hooks on a hand broad, fastened round about, and upon the tables was the flesh of the offering. And without the inner gate were the chambers of the singers in the inner court, which was at the side of the north gate, and their prospect was towards the south, one at the side of the east gate, having the prospect towards the north. And he said unto me, This chamber, whose prospect is towards the south, is for the priests, the keepers of the charge of the house. All right. So that is for the priests. And the chamber, whose prospect is towards the north, is for the priests, the keepers of the charge of the altar. These are the sons of Zadok among the sons of Levi, which come near to the Lord to minister unto him. Okay, so I really want tabernacle in my building I'm dream. So he measured the court 100 cubits long and 100 cubits broad, 4 square, and the altar that was before the house. And he brought me to the porch of the house, and measured each post of the porch, 5 cubits on this side, and 5 cubits on that side. And the breadth of the gate was 3 cubits on this side, and 3 cubits on that side. The length of the porch was 20 cubits, and the breadth 11 cubits. And he brought me by the steps whereby they went up to it, and there were pillars by the posts, one on this side and another on that side. So that is the end of Ezekiel chapter 40. Yeah. In his vision, he just got word from God how to build a tabernacle. That's all it is. Yeah. He said in his vision, him just see God. And God give him all of these measurements and tell him how to build a tabernacle, where the measurement supposed to be, where the post supposed to be, which door is supposed to be to the north, which door to the south, which gate to the east, yeah. So God just tell him how to build that tabernacle. So I guess he's going to build that tabernacle so that the newly established people of Israel will have a place to worship. That is, I guess, the beginning of the rebuilding of Jerusalem. All right, that's it. That's where we're going to end the reading for this morning. I want to say thanks to everybody who came into the live. Thanks for the loves. Thanks for the likes. I sincerely appreciate it. And the more we read the Bible, the more fascinating it becomes. I am enjoying the reading. I hope you all are, because when you read something by just not just calling the words, but it presents to you a deeper understanding, to me, that is a valuable reading and great time spent, not wasted time, but a valuable time spent reading something that is worthwhile reading. All right, that is going to be it from me for right now, my friends. When we come back tomorrow morning, Oh, tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning we're gonna read early. We're gonna read early tomorrow morning. We're gonna read 41 and 42, but me not go gabble and chat so much because because maybe tomorrow morning we read only one chapter. It all depends. Because by this time tomorrow morning I have to go finish everything and reach our work. Yeah. So that's what's going to be happening tomorrow. But I invite you all to join me again tomorrow and every morning as we continue to read the Bible for ourselves. If you're just come into the live, oh, I'm sorry that you missed so much of the reading, but we are currently on the book of Ezekiel. So we are way more than halfway through the Bible, and I think the rest of the Bible will take us into next year. It might, but we're not in any hurry. We're going to continue reading a chapter or two each day. All right, I move right along. All right, guys, that's gonna be it from me for this morning. Sister Winsome Card, who have vlogs, G, Joseph, Kzen, Jayling, and everybody else who came into the live. I appreciate you sincerely. I'm glad you were able to come in to join us this morning. Join us again tomorrow morning when we will continue with the reading of the Bible. Until then, my friends, this is Trev from Traversance, where your journey matters. Have yourselves a great day, everybody, and I will see you all later. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, people. All right, Winsome, enjoy yourself at church. I will see you later, Sister Winsome. Kenneth, bless up yourself. I think my friend Paul was here as well. Bless up yourself, Paul. My name is my friend TikTok sick this morning. But anyway, we will be going live again later on today. So join me later. All right, guys. See you all later, guys. Have yourselves a good day. See you later. Winsome. 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 I'm gone. See you later.